As long as 1 is subtracted from 4, the infinite bond will be reduced to limited. The world of little ones will end. Only the villain's shared high-speed thinking and increasingly accelerated somatosensory time will come to an end. Lili grabbed it with her right hand, which was already wrapped around her waist bag. Alfrig, Dvalin and Gear realized this dangerous situation and were about to regroup again. However, Lili's right hand blinked a little faster. Ignoring Aisha and the others, a vial was thrown toward the center of the 3 brothers who were about to gather. Explosives flew in 3 directions. The bursting flames sent the villains and warriors flying east, south, and west respectively. Lili also rolled onto the ground with the momentum of breaking the embankment. At this moment, the 4 flames and gold warriors were completely separated. This is an excellent opportunity, and it is also the time for a counterattack. You have done a lot of things so far. In front of Gear, who stood up with a large sword, was a woman. Short wool-colored hair combed by the wind and fists wrapped in blood-stained gloves. Lost to the 4 warriors, lost to this day, Lunar raised his eyebrows, staring at his hateful enemy. I will pay you all the money I owe you so far. No, don't underestimate people. Just like during the goddess sacrifice, he swung his sword to knock her to the ground. Lunar suddenly stopped. Separated from his brother, Gear, who was eager to decide the winner, became anxious after being separated from his brother, but Lunar did not let this go and tempted him to make a fuss. And the boxer's move, which displayed an exceptionally good strategy, was naturally the long-awaited full-force punch. He was almost clinging to the ground at first, and then he swung up like a rescue. After hitting Gear's abdomen, it emitted a sound similar to an explosion. Then, starting with the fist punched in the abdomen, the body bent to the limit, decisive shot and consecutive punches. As long as there's no connection, guys. The first riot began. Direct punches, elbows, ripping Gear's body from various angles, destroying the large sword that escaped from his hand, breaking the helmet, breaking the armor and hitting hard at the same time. The little Palam's body never fell to the ground, and was floating in the air to withstand continuous blows like bombs. She, who came from outside the city, only relied on her own fists to make a name for herself, and she defeated many high-level adventurers. She held the proud record of never being defeated until she met the 4 warriors of flame and gold. She was obsessed with confronting people head-on, the target's blood splashed, staining her gloves red and black. Based on this, she got a generic name that is not a pseudonym, Black Fist. Don't rely on magic, just use excellent skill strength. The little Paolum was buried in the sunken earth, spitting out blood. In the eyes where the helmet and glasses were all lost, consciousness gradually faded, and suddenly her head lost strength and became silent. She stroked the scars on the great sword and waved her fists so that the wind could be heard everywhere. The woman who loves fighting more than anyone showed a competitive smile. In the west, Dvalin shouted loudly when he saw his younger brother who sank along with the swift attack. Do you still have the mind to worry about your brother? Chloe gave a smile that seemed mocking or sarcastic, and ran. It's just this level. A storm of sand and dust was generated by the explosives. She rushed out at once and launched a surprise attack from the rear, but Dvalin still reacted. He raised a sledgehammer that should be called a large iron ball and smashed the careless cat into pieces. That's right, literally Chloe's entire body was broken into pieces. The Catwoman who disappeared before her eyes surprised Gear, and then a magical name flew into her ears. The super short text singing the magic that has already been sung, its true face is, phantom magic, transformed into magical residue. The missing cat surprised Dvalin, but this time, a real surprise attack was approaching him. However, first-level adventurer Dvalin responding to this, crushed Chloe who was attacking with the top of her head. He was crushed. What a shame. There could be as many as 3 ghosts. Using 2 ghosts to disturb, he slowly jumped out of the smoke and dust as the first one ran away. Using the second strike forcibly, Dvalin, who was in an unstable stance, was slashed by her in the back. The weapon that was cut off was not the broken dagger, but a dagger with a strange black and purple color. This child's name is Violet. Absorbed deeper into the dungeon, the monster's poisonous venom is a special product of Chloe. Seeing the cat displaying this evil weapon, the little Paolum she managed to support herself was about to swear. Blood spat from Dvalin's mouth. Are you trying to say that poison is the pride of first-level adventurers, the well-trained superpower, the abnormal resistance and skills are not working? No, and Chloe said as a cruel, wet, sadistic and evil smile of the highest order emerges. I committed fatal negligence, and listened to former member Anya's mission. Dvalin froze this information. The little man's mouth began to spit out large chunks of jet-black blood, and at that moment, the cat's lips were outlined in the shape of a crescent moon. There was a dance. Aim for the cutting edge taken from the opening in the armor. Dvalin's limbs were cut into pieces. More toxins eroded the body and blood gushed from every hole, causing the villain's body to finally fall to the ground. Hey, how do you feel now? This woman completely hid her true nature, never used serious tactics, but used all kinds of sneak attacks and made a great contribution to the city's assassination industry. The dancing Baneblade is a cat's tail. If you hear a meow, it is a harbinger of a tragic death. Compared to Black Fist, who likes to fight head-to-head, she gained a common name, Black Cat. She stepped into the profile of a first-tier adventurer, twisting her feet every now and then, her back shaking with excitement. This hand rests on the warm cheek, and the figure is full of joy. Even if you say the least, you still have to use the word evil to describe it. As for my current mood, of course it's great. Burling exhausted all his strength and finally broke the pressure that was compressed to the limit. The magical power exploded along with the breaking of the gravity prison, and the black mist gradually dissipated. Seeing everyone fighting alone, his brothers, with his figure, Burling was greatly impacted. The connection must be restored immediately. The shadow moves forward. Darkness descends. Losing my arms and my body is the crown of withering. However, it was at this moment. A corner that didn't belong to fate stopped Burling, who was planning to support his brother. A scientist, that shooter. It was the first time that Naza, who focused on shooting a bow, used a magic of unknown origin. Burning with anxiety. Worried about what she would do again, Burling quickly changed direction. Ugly worms, flesh that was devoured, hearts that were humiliated. Condemned to silver, writhing, sound of beating wings. You, trash. The distance disappeared instantly. The great axe that never let go aimed at Naza and knocked him down. The chant is complete. But the attack here is faster than magic. She must not be allowed to do unnecessary things again. Seeing Burling's decisive strike, the decoy Naza, as if she had seen everything, she stretched out her right hand. Although the skill had decreased, the first-level adventurer's slash should have been able to cut off the right arm and the opponent together. But this was blocked by the hard texture. What, the silver prosthetic hand? The gleam of metal appeared on the torn sleeves and gloves. An artificial arm that is not made of flesh and bone. Silver arm. Burling did not investigate the information related to the insignificant trash, and a shot pierced him. However, the silver arm, which was cut in half and had several more joints due to the impact, was wrapped around the great axe like a silver snake. Okay, here you are. Naza, who sacrificed her prosthetic hand and just avoided the blow, narrowed her eyes due to the flying debris. Just pay the fee, she said. Without hesitation, she handed over the prosthetic hand with a huge remaining debt and activated the only magic. Devil Beetle. A large number of black particles were released. Emerging from the broken silver arm was a frightening swarm of light particles, almost like a swarm of insects.